Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM23. This is Lions, episode number 2. Quick note, of course, to help with the algorithm, which, by the way, episode number 1, huge support, fantastic. The algorithm, for the first time, has boosted a video. So it's doing ridiculously well. It's off to a great start. But that algorithm works primarily over the first 3 episodes of a series. After that, it drops off in the relative importance of that as we are coming together with a group of writers behind us here. If you could take just a second, drop below, click that like button, leave that comment. Let me know what you thought of that first episode and the direction of the Lions thus far. Do you think we're going to achieve our goals this season and get to that 100%? Especially if we have no national championships to compete in until the database gets fleshed out a little bit more. Well, anyway, it was a difficult day to get into the break, and the break is only just now established, and we're a good 70K in. The first 2 riders I sent up the road included At El Abdia, which was our guy who sits second overall. He's one of the 2 that gained the 10 seconds. They didn't want him getting away. The ones chasing him down, sprinters. So he was a threat a little bit for the points classification. Well, we tried again. They weren't too happy with David's going into the break. David's was the other one who was in the break yesterday and had gained 10 seconds. Well, this time we're joined by a couple Bora riders, a Jumbo Visma rider, and Garosio and Iolo, and this time we make it work. It wasn't easy. They got really drained, but they're already recovering now, and we have 4K to the first of 3 intermediate sprints that are kind of back to back to back. There's one more before the end of the stage, but this is a great opportunity for us to try to grab some more seconds. But you got to finish in the top 3. There's 4 other riders here, so we could be finishing 5th and 6th. Now, I think with a lead out, we should be better than that. But let's see just how good is the sprint. Hofstetter, Archibald. Okay, there's one we can certainly beat. And Cope. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. There's definitely 3 riders that are much better than what we are. With a lead out, hopefully I can get David's at least in the mix, because all he needs... Hello, it's time. 1.2K. All right, here we go, Rigora. Give us that lead out. 500 meters. David's. Well, taking 4th isn't going to mean much. It's the top 3, and yeah, 3 sprinters. 3 sprinters. Take 1, 2, 3. So David's, on this occasion, can't gain anything. We're going to need that lead out to come a bit sooner to get those bonuses in the next couple opportunities. 2K to go. Rigora is leading out. Let's get David's following him. And let's also up the effort. We can move him up here a little bit early by coming to the front. There you go. Ooh, this is not good for us, though. There's a hill before. David's. See, can't... Oh, he can get 3rd. He gets 3rd. Okay. Hey, I'll take that. That is 1 second. 3rd chance. Similar to the second one, it's definitely a bit punchy. We are 1.3K out right now. So Rigora is going to start his sprint, which this time is going to give us a head start for David's for sure. And now David's coming through over the top. He'll overtake Rigora, but again, it's going to be 3rd. But 3rd is still worth a second. We're not good. We're not good. We're clearly the weaker guy here, but it's ultimately working out for us because it's a thin enough field. You got one guy who's not going... In fact, that one guy not going for it at the moment has been dropped. He's trying to catch up. And so through 3 intermediate sprints, we've only managed to get 3rd place twice because of just ultimately how weak we are. But 3rd place twice is 2 seconds, giving us 12 overall. There's one left, but that is so close to the finish line. 14K from the finish line that it's almost inevitable that we'll have been caught by that point. For now, 64K to go. They're not happy with the tempo we're setting, but setting a higher tempo now. There's two of us and they want everyone to work, but Regora's here to do that, not David's. Might not actually be us this time. Carosio is the one who's not working, not contributing, that I think they're tired of and want to get dropped. But Regora is nearly done with 43k to go. David's will have to start contributing to remain in the group. 2-minute advantage over the field with 35k to go. And with a little bit of firepower here, it's possible. They're coming back at us pretty quick right now. 20 seconds have come down in just 5k. I don't think that's going to be enough to hang on. And you can see just how quickly this is draining David's to try to keep the tempo that they want us to set. But we are inside 10 kilometers to the next intermediate sprint, so I think we do want to try to hang on just that little bit longer to compete for that intermediate sprint. And then totally back off once that happens, and inside 5k and inside 40 seconds. But see if we can't get top 3 on that sprint. 2k. Take our time here. David's very much needs to gel up. 1.4k. It's a little bit uphill. Attack just before the top. Looks like we're going to get second. So that's 2 more seconds. Now we sit up and begin to recover. I have no reason to go forward anymore. There you go. That right there was one of the last hills we're going to encounter. So David's hopefully can hang on here to the end. We need to go less effort so he can just drift and hang on. Slowly drifting back. He's already in the middle of the group. 3k. I'm not thinking about the sprint at all. I'm just looking at David's here, trying to get him to the finish. Now he can push a little bit harder as these guys are going to be sprinting. Okay, now sprinting. Just make sure he gets same time is all. Decline has taken the stage. Aberasturi second, Plankart third. And David should have gotten same time. And David's did get same time. Rigora at the very, very back of the group as well was able to pull that off. So in the general, David's leads. That 4 seconds worth of time bonuses, along with the bonuses of Decline in the stage, Morkov last time, Hofstetter was in the break with us and picked up the 10 seconds similar to what we had done previously. But David's 4 seconds to the good. Now, that's got to be enough to get a top 10 as long as he doesn't lose time in the coming stages. Morkov finishes second. He's going to get a 6-second time bonus. That's going to move him ahead of us, but we're still right there. David's in second. Ait El Abdia still up in 5th place. 2 riders, 3 stages down, 2 to go. Stage 4 has seen the field split into a couple components, and while I had 3 guys in the front group, it wasn't our 2 leaders, even though they were assigned as leaders. That happens. Quicksim seems to be very much the same Quicksim that it's been for years. 24 seconds, fortunately, is all we lost. That top 10 is no longer seemingly in play right now at all. You got 4 guys with time bonuses and then a 16-second group that goes down to 24th place. 10 seconds further back for Davids and Ait El Abdia. So don't think those guys are going to be in play. What we need to do now for the final stage is I'm going to have to control it once again, and it's going to be Iob. We're going to be getting into that break, who sits 18th overall. All he needs is a single second to climb up to 5th place, and then, depending on what happens with the 4 intermediate, or that's actually the current stage. So whatever happens with intermediate sprints along the way, however many of them there are, and then of course what happens at the finish line, like if Hessman wins the stage, he's going to gain 10 seconds, but barring that, we've got our top 10. It's down to Iob now to make it happen. In a day that has so far been difficult to try to form a breakaway, 3 attempts at a breakaway have already failed, and Iob has one shot to do it. He's starting to get a bit tired. We've switched riders on who's there to support him. And this team here in green has not liked the makeup of the breakaways so far. And every time we get out front, they're trying to pull it back. And I don't see why, as they don't necessarily have anyone who should be too bothered by what we're up to. Looks like we're about to get brought back again. Just 4 riders. They still won't let us go away. And they're not trying to get anybody in the break, which is silly. Alright, well, I figured out why they're making it so difficult for a breakaway to get established today. And it is down to the fact that they've got the leader. They've got the leader of the race. And certain riders, they are concerned about the time factor if they get away. Now, I don't see IOB being the threat, but probably somebody else that's in there. Now, right now, we're the one keeping things close because IOB needs to recover for a bit. Where we've got 22K to go to the intermediate sprint. That's our best shot. All we have to do is be able to do something then. So for now, I think I might be trying to get him to recover and use up a couple of riders to keep there from being a breakaway. Right now, they like those guys trying to attack. Those are a lot stronger riders than what we have. I know a couple of them anyway. And 16K to go. Ooh, that's a minute. Okay, working a little bit harder here. IOB has recovered a fair bit here with 13K. We're going to have to team time trial this and set ourselves up. We've got 12K. 10K. Let's go ahead and get everybody else. Let's see, where's my sprinters at? Not those two, so get up behind them. David's today is certainly a sprinter, and then Rigora. There we go, minute 10, 8K. Full gas 99, and we've already been putting these guys under pressure for the 20K that they've been out front, so hopefully they don't have the ability to hold us off too well. That would be a real shame. Sorry. Taking over. Yeah, there we go. Now the time's coming down here. I set myself up on 99s, but we don't have time to waste. 3K. One rider has been dropped from the front 3, but we need to get a top 3. So starting the sprint, 2K out. I'm not sure we're going to get there. Which means we're going to have to do it on the other intermediate sprint, which, yep, that is the case, folks. Oh boy. Okay, this is a problem. This is a pretty big problem for us. We are going to have to do a lot of managing to get something because the intermediate sprint's the only chance we have. The end of the stage is not happening. We got to keep an eye on this gap. It cannot get out to more than a couple minutes. Those guys are going to have to be brought in before the intermediate sprint at 123. It's 20K from the finish line. The good news is most of the sprinters are going to be focused on the end of stage sprint. The bad news is we have got work to do here, and it could get ugly. Could get ugly. 2-minute advantage. 19K to go. We don't have a team strong enough to really do a full sprint train from this far out. So I've got one rider pushing with the chase. It's coming down, and it's coming down quick. And they've got to be on their last legs. Minute 22 now. I think we've got this under control. Mansouri, big push here, has enabled this possibility. It's down to a minute, which is where we were at last time. But it's clearly different circumstances as, Mansouri is pulling these guys back. 50 seconds. Okay, 8.7K, let's set this up. 5.3K to go. Still 37 seconds. We have not caught these guys yet. We've got to keep moving full gas from here. This is our finish line, folks. Because after this, we just need to cross the actual finish line, knowing that there's no chance that we're going to be the sprinters, and we still have not caught these guys, and they are pushing on really hard. 2.3K early sprint. Oh, come on. Come on. 1-2 riders fading here. 800 meters. David's full sprint. Come on. Nope. Nope. Where is it? 200 meter. No, we didn't catch him. We didn't catch him. Wow. We are so weak in the sprint. We now have to focus on the sprint at the end of the stage. We're not going to finish in the top 3, but here's what can happen. Ayob is fairly well placed. He's fairly well placed in the overall. His finish line position, even if he doesn't win the sprint, can move him up a bit. It can move him up a number of positions. We might still be able to get a top 10, even without a time bonus of some kind. We're not a team very capable of sprinting. We're tired after the effort we just made, so we're going to wait a little bit here. All right, full gas from here. We've got to get out front. We've got to try to finish well in this sprint with Ayob. Unfortunate that our weak team can't manage to do something, and we were doing so well, and the AI let us down, but inside 7K to go. Baiza doing okay. He's got us out front. 6K. All right, on to the next guys. And onto the gels as we go under a sand bridge. Sure. 4K. You can see how much we are struggling to just be in a good position near the front of this thing. 3K. We're going 99 and we can't even get, and hold out front. 2.6, 2.3, starting our sprint. Much earlier than everybody else, but that's the only way to do it here. Good sprint there, but Davids has lost some ground, and so has Ayob, and there you go. Ayob isn't even the next place guy. Hopefully it's a high enough finish. A lot of the sprinters were guys that had lost time at one point, so maybe by finishing 18th here, it'll look better. Remember, we're looking at a relatively small group. It's like 5th to 24th. Those 20 riders could have been all over the place in the field. And if a number of them were behind us, it'll move us up a handful of spots. But I don't think we've managed to score a top 10 in this race. We did move Ayob up a little bit, but only to 15th. So we did not get into the top 10. We could not get him any seconds at either of the intermediates. The field just was not having it when we were in the break. Not the field. Green Project, Bardiani. They were not having it. They used everything in their power to destroy the first 3 breakaway attempts, which contained us. Once there was a breakaway attempt that didn't contain us, we then tried to do what they did and just didn't have the firepower, didn't have the strength, couldn't pull it back. Then tried a second time for the second intermediate to do the same thing. And again, he came up, 80 meters short on those guys at the intermediate sprint, and then went for the ultimate sprint at the finish line, which was enough to move Ayob up a few spots, but it was never going to win that sprint. It was just a matter of how far can you move him up by finishing ahead of some guys, and not far. The answer is not far. And so one objective into the calendar season, we have a partial failure and drop from mid-happy zone to barely in the happy zone, which obviously we want to go the other direction, and we only have a few good opportunities to do that. That was one of them. So we're looking at a pretty difficult first season. And when I did this with the Dragons, we had all those national championships, and those gave us the boost that we needed. I'm not sure we're getting any national championships here in the state of the database. As it grows, as it builds, as they add in the elements of it and fix names and add races, and next season, when it loads up and it builds the calendar for the year, it's going to pull from that and it'll be fine. We had to have that database active and going to use it. But right now, it's kind of an empty shell. I've got to wait a year for that to tick off and start being available to us. This season is that much more challenging. We already have the weakest team we could pull together. What else? What else could we add to our plate to be a challenge? Well, it turns out that the database shell has added to that. But we'll see. There might be some national championships for us when the time comes. One thing I have not checked on at this point was if there even is any quality within our team or any potential within our team. So AEA, I got to figure out what to nickname this guy because Ait El Abdia is hard to say every time. I can say it, but it's hard to. I really have to stop and pronunciate each word carefully. Anyway, we'll figure out something to call him as we proceed down the season. He's 29. He has a little bit of potential kind of remaining. I'm not sure if he's going to reach it at all. He's had a single career victory. He's been to a Grand Tour at some point. Maybe Israel Premier Tech or one of the Continental Pro teams that had an invite, I would think. We really don't know career-wise what he's been involved in. Baiza, only 21, has a little bit of potential beyond what he's got right now, but it's not looking pretty. His cobble rating, Baradur rating, time trial rating will be tolerable, but never good. He's definitely one you want to replace as soon as possible. David's looks pretty okay, except that he's 30 and will never reach that potential. Potential being the blue here. Looks like he could be an okay sprinter at some point, but at 30, you can just go, nope, that's not happening. That is so not happening. He's somebody who's never lived up to potential, and I think it's too late to make him that guy with a focused team. Ayab, 29, same sort of deal. He's got a little bit left in the tank in terms of development, but I don't see it happening. So far, we're 0 for 4. Linga? He's only 19, showing some potential as a puncher. It says 1.5 stars overall, so I'm kind of guessing maybe not so much. But we'll keep an eye on his development here this season. If he's growing, if he's changing, if he's evolving, we might just hang on to him, re-sign him. I'm sorry, 25, flat rating, time trial. He doesn't have a strength, but that's not a bad cobble rating. That is not a bad cobble rating if he can actually reach it. So we might hang on to him as a classics type rider. 25, again, comes down to, are you going to develop? One career victory for him. That's Islam Mansouri. Hamza Mansouri, brothers, 23 years of age. Again with the flat, again with the time trial. Very similar profile to one another. Looking not quite as strong, maybe a little bit better time trial, a little bit worse in the classics. Ragora, 19, already 2 stars. We'll have a decent time trial rating, but nothing on the team is going, ooh, yay, wow, we have a decent rider. No, none of them. There might be 3 guys here to hang on to. Araya, only 20, 2.5 stars, and has some potential. We do have. Okay, Araya is the guy on this team, on this roster, that we want to renew and hang on to. We're not going to find much better than that for a little while here within this database. As you scout riders, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be pretty challenging. Zerai, by the way, just leveled up. So we are seeing his current attributes that were not his current just days ago. 67 mountain for him now. 68 hills, growing into a decent climber for us. He's going to get well into the 70s. He won't hit 80s, but he'll get high 70s. And early on, continental wise, that's a good rider. He'll be a good rider for us. And if he's already leveled up just a month and a half in, then he's early in the process and should level up pretty quickly. So we do have a good one. Without the help of those national championships, I do fear that we're going to struggle to get some sort of decent evaluation for this first season. Next season will be easier. We'll find some better riders that will sign for us. We'll still be continental, almost certainly, but we'll be more capable as a team, and those top 10s at the very least will come a lot easier. But in the meantime, looking at the objectives, there's 2 types of objectives that we have. You have top 10s, and we have stage wins. That's it. There is absolutely no other type of objective out there, so that's going to make this really clear and obvious. A top 10 objective is possible. A stage win with this team is impossible. We will not win a race this year with almost absolute certainty. If I controlled every single race, I'd find a way. I would find a way we would win a race. But I can tell you right now, it's like a 1% chance that we're going to do something along those lines, especially if we're only going to control 4 more races the rest of this first season, as we quickly make our way to season number 2 and start building and reshaping the squad and building for the future. Circuit Laguna is next. We're going to be starting the next episode with that. It's a 3-star objective, so it is a pretty big one. It's a really important objective if we're going to rebound and get back into a okay state. So we need to get a top 10 on a sprint stage that's slightly uphill at the finish, which is going to be tough. We've already seen that when we give it our all in a sprint, we're like 18th. So scoring a top 10 will be tough. However, the guy we were riding for, Iob, in that last race, he's not the best sprinter. And he was on a -1 on the day. Somebody will have a +4, +5, and they'll have mid-60s, and we will do better than 18th. But will we do better than 10th? Or better than 11th, really? Will we score a top 10? Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. But we'll try. It's one stage, it's one race, it's quick, it's easy. We'll certainly give that one a shot. But then all these stage wins, not happening. No chance whatsoever. So then we come to another top 10, and then a half-star top 10, which means nothing, so I'll bypass that one. So we have Laguna, we have Ringerike, more stage wins 1, and then Crunch. That's it. 3 races the rest of the year that will be the crucial moments for our evaluation. Now, we won't know about the national championships if anybody gets to participate, whether they're going to give us a boost, whether those national championships even exist. Would venture to say that South Africa does. I don't know if Eritrea does. I would think if there's one large enough to have a national championship, it's going to be South Africa. But it might not. There might be 0 default national championships in Africa in the current state of the database. By next season, I might have 1 or 2 or 3, or every single one of our nations. We'll see how quickly we get through the nation and how quickly the database builds. I've got 3 races left for this year. I will know after the next 2 whether I will earn any bonuses whatsoever from national championships, and we'll know how important that race is going to be for us. But 3 opportunities to score a success, that's not good. And if anything, we might be hoping to just not fail, hoping to maintain the level we have. Could be. Big questions ahead of us, but we're going to make a lot of progress because we're into March now, and I would imagine that we're going to get to probably June within that next episode, because we had 1 stage race on our calendar for this year. We did 3 of those stages, but for the next 2, it's all about the finish line. So those will go a lot faster, and we'll easily get through those. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I really appreciate you being here. What a welcome sight to see what that first episode was. Great job coming together as a community. The likes, the comments were fantastic. That was the best video launch that I have ever had with the channel, and I'm so happy to see it. And I'm really, really excited for what we can do here with the Lions Racing team, which right now we're pitiful. We are so pitiful right now, but it will get better. And that's the whole point of the challenge, is this is what we're working with. There's already better riders out there. It's just getting them to want to sign with a team that is this pitiful. Whew, that's a lot of work. And I'm looking forward to that challenge coming up. I would imagine we're going to be doing that on episode 4, wrapping up the season, but going through our first round of signings. The dossiers will be coming up relatively soon as well, and that's an adventure. When you're starting out, it's a real adventure trying to find riders that are interested in signing with you or building the interest to sign with you, and we might have to overpay some guys in the first couple of seasons. And actually, in terms of the finances, we only have $5,000 to spare right now. Some of our staff is not cheap, and we can definitely find some better staff. In fact, our staff versus our athlete salaries, our staff is making more money combined than the athletes. We're spending just under $30,000 on staff. We're spending $25,000 on athletes. That's $55,000, and we have a budget of $60,000 per month. So we're not banking a lot of money right now, and we definitely can't just go out and sign anybody and everybody and overpay for them. But overpay for them at at our level, at our stage of finding better quality is, like 4,000, 6,000. So it won't add up to be that much. We'll be okay. Will we have any extra money to spend next year? I don't know. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.